Ever wish transferring money across the globe was as simple as, like, sending a quick text, instant, no matter the currency? Heck, maybe even using something like digital gold. Sounds kind of wild, right? But, that future might be closer than we think.
What's got everyone in finance talking is SWIFT.
Not that messaging app, right?
Definitely not. We're talking about the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication.
Okay, yeah, their name's a mouthful, but they're a huge deal in finance, right?
Massive.
Like the behind-the-scenes players making sure international payments actually work.
Exactly. We're talking over 11,500 banks. All those institutions linked together.
Wow.
And they just made a huge GE announcement. They're launching these real-world trials, actual digital asset transactions, and get this, in 2025.
So no more playing around. This is the big leagues now.
This is a big leap, yeah. They've been doing their homework, experimenting with blockchain for a while.
So it's like they've been dipping their toes in the water, and now they're ready to just dive right in.
Precisely. They've been running trials with platforms, big ones, Chainlink, Ethereum, even looking into Ripple.
For making those cross-platform transactions smooth.
Exactly. They're not just watching from the sidelines. They're figuring out how this all really works, hands-on.
And it's not just about the tech itself, is it? It's got to be about this wave of digital assets we keep hearing about.
Absolutely. Look at the numbers. Over 134 countries, they're all exploring these central bank digital currencies, CBDCs.
Digital versions of like the yen, the euro, all that.
Exactly. And on top of that, the whole world of tokenized assets. Stocks, bonds, even real estate, you name it.
Instead of a deed to your house, you'd have a digital token?
Exactly. And the market for this stuff, it's projected to be huge E. $30 trillion by 2034?
That's a lot of zeros.
That's an understatement. It's a potential gold rush, but digital.
Okay, so we've got SWIFT, this major player. They've figured out blockchain, digital assets. Now they're going all in, just as this digital wave is about to break. What's the plan? What are they hoping to achieve here?
Well, right now, the world of digital assets is fragmented, right? It's like a bunch of separate islands.
Bitcoin Island over there, Ethereum Island way over.
Right, exactly. And trying to use different digital assets across those platforms, it's a nightmare. Like trying to pay for groceries with seashells when everyone else is using credit cards.
Makes sense. So then what? SWIFT wants to be the bridge connecting all those islands?
That's exactly it.
So they're like building a universal translator for all of digital finance.
Perfect way to put it. And they're in a unique position because they already have this massive network, thousands of institutions. They don't have to start from scratch. They can just leverage what they've already got. Bring traditional finance and these new digital assets together.
So less of a jumbled mess, more like a unified system where digital assets, traditional finance, it can all just work together.
That's the idea.
But how do these SWIFT trials, how do they actually work? What are they testing? What kind of impact could this have, realistically?
It's almost like SWIFT is kind of flexing its muscles a bit, They want to prove their system can handle all this, the digital assets, all the complexity, but still be reliable, still be secure, because the whole global system kind of depends on that, right? Making different blockchains work together. So banks could be dealing with digital assets one minute, traditional assets the next, all in one place.
So give me like a real world scenario. How would this actually play out?
Okay, so say there's a company in the U.S. needs to pay a supplier in Europe. But that supplier, they want to be paid in digital euros.
Okay, getting specific.
Right, so with SWIFT system, the U.S. company's bank, they send U.S. dollars like normal. Behind the scenes, SWIFT does its thing, converts it to those digital euros, boom, supplier gets paid.
No more like 10 steps, different platforms, all that.
Exactly. Way smoother, especially for businesses dealing with, international stuff all the time.
Makes sense, but it goes beyond just paying for stuff, right? What about more complicated transactions?
Absolutely. You've got things like delivery versus payment, DVP, where you don't want to send the product until you know that payment is good. SWIFT's trying to show this can be done even with totally different digital ledgers involved.
Starting to sound pretty futuristic over here, but SWIFT's not doing this all alone, are they? What about all the other big names in finance?
Collaboration is key here, for sure. SWIFT knows they can't just reinvent the whole system by themselves. They're partnering up. Banks, blockchain companies, even the regulators are involved.
Got to make sure it's all above board.
Exactly. It's about building a system everyone buys into that actually works within the rules.
So who are these partners? Like any big names we'd recognize?
Oh yeah, we're talking the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, Banque de France. They're already using SWIFT systems, experimenting with foreign exchange. which sets things up nicely for CBDC transactions later on.
I'm guessing this isn't just like a side project for them either.
No, not at all. They're super involved in Project Agora,
It is?
a big deal initiative led by the Bank for International Settlements. Think of them like the central bank of central banks.
Okay, so serious stuff.
Very serious. This project, it's bringing together those tokenized assets, the CBDCs, all of it. SWIFT's working with the biggest players to make this new system, this new digital order, a reality.
So they're like the central nervous system of this whole new world that's emerging.
Love that analogy.
Yeah.
And just like your nervous system, information needs to flow. That's why SWIFT is also working on improving data standards. They're moving towards ISO 2022.
Catchy. But in like layman's terms, what is that?
Think of it like switching from handwritten notes to super detailed spreadsheets.
More info, less room for error. Makes sense. But this is all pretty high level. What does this actually mean for the average person? How will this change how WE interact with money down the line? More info, less room for error. Makes sense. But this is all pretty high level. What does this actually mean for the average person? How will this change how W interact with money down the line?
That's the real question, right? Imagine, like, sending money across the world is as easy as firing off a text. Want to buy, I don't know, a vintage comic book from a seller in Japan? No problem. Couple taps on your phone, payments sent, currencies are converted, boom, done.
Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty great, not gonna lie. But how realistic is that? Are we really talking like a whole financial revolution here?
These SWIFT trials, they're a big step. They're setting the stage. We might really see those digital islands connected. A more unified system, more efficient, more open.
And it's not about getting rid of the old way completely, right? It's got to be about connecting that to this new digital stuff.
Right. You need the stability of traditional finance, the trust that's already there. But digital assets, that's where you get speed, transparency. SWIFT wants both.
Best of both worlds. So like a universal translator, but for money.
Exactly. Break down those barriers, then everyone can participate no matter where they are, what kind of assets they're using.
We've covered a lot of ground today, that's for sure. From blockchain to digital islands, now a whole new financial system.
It's a lot, but it's exciting stuff. We're watching a real shift happen right in front of us. How we think about money, how we use it, could change the world.
Makes you wonder what everyday life will even look like years down the line. Paying for groceries with digital euros. Buying real estate with, what was it, those tokens on your phone.
Don't rule it out. This tech keeps developing. SWIFT's vision gets closer. Who knows what kind of innovations we'll see, how we move money, manage it, all of it. The future's just around the corner.
It's kind of mind-blowing, to be honest.
Yes.
A little bit intimidating, but definitely exciting. But one thing eyes clear, these SWIFT trials, this is a big deal. Maybe the future of finance really eyes limitless.
Absolutely. And we're heading into uncharted territory here, so it's more important than ever to stay informed, keep asking those questions.
That's what we're all about. But for our listeners out there, we want to know, what role do you see yourselves playing in all of this? What excites you about this whole digital asset future, a more connected system?
Those are the questions to be thinking about, for sure. We're on the edge of something big.
This has been quite the deep dive. Digital islands, unified systems, the future of finance is definitely full of surprises.
And that's a wrap for today. Keep exploring, keep learning, and until next time, keep diving deep.